Hello and welcome to Tech Explained Simply. Imagine you run an online company. Sometimes you want to know how much you will sell next month. Other times, you want to know whether a customer will buy at all. Both sound like predictions. Both use machine learning, but they're actually two completely different problems. Today, I'll explain the difference between regression and classification in the simplest way possible. In my previous video, we talked about linear regression and how companies use it to predict numbers. Now, let's zoom out and see the bigger picture. What is regression? Regression is used when the goal is to predict a number, a real value, and something measurable. For example, predicting the price of a house, forecasting monthly revenue, estimating how many clicks an ad will get, and predicting delivery time. The output of regression is not limited. It can be 25, 2,500, or 2.5 million. In regression, the model answers questions like how much, how many, or how long. Linear regression is the simplest version of this idea, but there are many others. So remember this. Regression is equal to predicting a numeric value. On the other side, we have a classification. Classification is different. Here, the goal is not a number, but a category, a decision, or a label. For example, is this email spam or not spam? Will this customer buy or not buy? Is this transaction fraud or legitimate? Or will the user leave the platform or stay? So instead of asking how much, classification asks, which group does this belong to? Even if there are many categories, the idea is the same. Yes or no, true or false, class A or class B. So remember this. Classification is equals to predicting a category or decision. So what is the core difference? Let's simplify it even more. Regression has the output number. For example, this house will cost $120,000. And classification, for the output, it will give a class. For example, this email is spam. Same data, same machine learning pipeline, but completely different objectives. This difference matters a lot because choosing the wrong approach leads to wrong results. Now, the main question is why this matters in business. Companies deal with both problems every day. Marketing teams will use regression for predicting campaign revenues, and they will use classification for predicting whether a use will convert. Banks will use regression to estimate the loan amount, but they will use classification to approve or reject credit applications. In the e-commerce, they will use regression to forecast sales volume, and they will use classification to detect fraudulent orders. If a company treats a classification problem like regression or the other way around, decisions become unreliable. That's why this distinction is one of the first things data scientists learn. Now, here's where many people get confused. There is something called logistic regression. Despite the name, it is not used for regression. It is used for classification. Why? Because its final output is a probability, which is then converted into a class, yes or no. This is why logistic regression is so popular in churn prediction, credit scoring, and marketing response models. And this is exactly what we'll cover in the next episode. So to recap, regression predicts numbers, classification predicts decisions, and both are essential in real-world AI systems. Understanding this difference helps you understand how companies actually use machine learning, not just in theory, but in practice. This was all for this episode. Thanks for watching Tech Explained Simply. Subscribe and like. See you in the next video.